Cook on Sunday, eat till Thursday. I'm Allie and you're watching Economy Bites. Swami Allie, look into my crystal bowl. Today we are going to cook tomato soup. So I found this recipe through our intern Emily, and then I added a couple of things to it, just a couple of Allie touches. You will never ever again want to eat the stuff from the can. I'm telling you, this tomato soup is a revelation. She was such a good intern. We did not buy flour or spices, but if you were going to include those two things, it would be about $25. Let's get started by preheating the oven to 450 degrees. Very, very hot. 3 28-ounce cans, whole peeled tomatoes. What we're gonna be doing is roasting these tomatoes so they're gonna get really sweet and delish. So here I have a large bowl, a strainer. I'm also gonna need another bowl, 1 can at a time. Through the strainer, in this bowl we're reserving the tomato juices. So I'm going to take each tomato, open it up like this to get out as many seeds as I can. So I have this cookie sheet. I'm gonna put foil on it so that the cleanup is easy. That's a little tip. We're making tomato cookies. Yum, yum, yum. This soup is kind of labor intensive. It's all really easy stuff to do, but there are kind of a lot of steps. I'm telling you, it is super, super worth it. I was like blown away by how delicious it was. Now you're gonna wanna get the best grade tomatoes you can get at your grocery store. Even the most expensive ones are only like $3.50 and they taste much better. Trust me, I have used enough canned tomatoes to know. Sprinkle brown sugar on top of these bad boys. Now we will pop this one in the oven. I'm saying in totem, you're probably going to use about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons brown sugar. We're gonna let those cook in there for half an hour. And while they're cooking, we're gonna start getting stuff ready for the base of our soup. Tomato discarded bits are gonna go in the garbage. Cut up 5 shallots here. Wanna mince these small. Now a shallot was once described to me as a combination of an onion and garlic, but I believe it's a little more complicated than that. This is going to be like a hot 5 minutes of me chopping shallots. And there were like bathrooms in the... Okay, almost done. 5 shallots, voila. I have these. Where did they go? Where did they go? Where did they go? Where'd they go? Seriously. I'm losing my mind. For spices, we are going to use crushed red pepper, thyme, allspice, which I love the smell of because it reminds me of Havdalah. Do you know that smell? You smell that thing? It's a Jew thing. I can't explain it. 1/4 teaspoon. It's got a strong, strong essence, so we don't really need that much. 1.5 teaspoons of thyme. Just a couple of shakes of red pepper. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. It's the essence of ripe tomatoes. It's much more convenient to use than canned tomato paste. Refrigerate after opening. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, good to know. So we have all this stuff ready. Now we just gotta wait for our tomatoes to cook. Make them say stuff. My men. Okay, we're just gonna sit it here, let them cool. We have a nice stock pot here. Perfect for soups. Heat on to medium. Just stay there, don't move. He thinks he's the star, but I'm the star. He's a vacuum cleaner. Okay, that's enough crazy lady talking about her cat. 3 tablespoons unsalted butter. Now we want to let this get bubbling a little. It's starting to make noise. So now we're going to take our bowl of shallots, thyme, crushed red pepper, and allspice, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Mix this all around. Cook, stirring occasionally, for 10 minutes. So these have been sweating for about 10 minutes. Take 3 tablespoons of all-purpose white flour. What we're doing is making a roux. So this stuff is getting nice and breaded down here. Now we are going to take our reserved tomato juice, 3 cups of chicken broth, toss in our tomatoes. We're turning the heat up to medium-high. Now we're going to bring our soup to a boil, then let it simmer for about 10 minutes. We're gonna get to the next step, which is the most fun step, which is pureeing all the solids. We brought our soup to a boil, then we let it simmer for about 10 minutes. And now we are going to puree the solids and finish it all up. So I'm turning the heat off, separate the liquids from the solids. All the liquid out of here. Super. Put these solids into the blender. Are you impressed by how carefully and cleanly I did that? I'm learning. Maybe you have an immersion blender. You could use that to puree the soup, or you could use a food processor if you wanted. Take their liquids, pour them back into our pot here, turning the heat on medium-high. Take our rest of the soup, pour that. You see it's nice and chunky. Oh my God, so good. We are just going to cook this on medium for about 5 more minutes. At this point, when we would add salt, maybe a little more brown sugar if it's a little too tart, maybe even a little cream if you wanted, but I'm going to keep the cream out. When I used to go to camp as a kid, tomato soup, grilled cheese was everybody's favorite summertime lunch. I think it holds up in your own kitchen too, especially with this soup, which is delicious. Just a little bit tart, so I'm just gonna add a small handful of brown sugar. So I've garnished it with a couple little croutons here. You could also put maybe a little bit of cheese in here, some crackers. Homemade tomato soup completely kicks the ass of canned tomato soup. Once you have this soup, you will never go back to the can. Cook on Sunday. That sounds like going to the bathroom. You will never go back to the canned stuff. Cook on Sunday, eat till Thursday. I'm Allie. See you next time. No, you have to call me Swami.
So Swami Allie, what are we cooking today?
I look into my crystal ball. Today we are going to cook. We'll see. If it's funny, it's funny. If it's not, it's not. That was my creative contribution.